Hi guys, I'm jiaoyingsummers. Welcome to the Tiger Milk podcast. Do you have a lot of Asian friends in Canada?
Oh yeah, Toronto's full of. I would say the most Filipino friends.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know a lot the Black Asians.
Yeah, they are. Joe Coy is half Filipino, half
Yeah.
Asian. Yeah.
Do you know Ron Jossel?
Yeah. I think I was in Philadelphia last night, and I said no, the night before. I said that I'm probably the only Asian in Philadelphia, so I'm Filipina. So stupid.
Okay, Filipino. There we go.
I like to write new jokes for the city.
I would say that the like Asian privileges you get to live with your parents till you're 85 years old if you want to.
Yeah, that's
All
true.
my friends that are Asian in Toronto, like they'll be like, oh, you're like, my buddy was like getting married and he wanted to move out, and his parents are like, "Move? What? You're only 45. Like,
yeah, we can watch the grandkids.
Yet.
We are watching the grandkids. My mom moved from China to help me with my children, which I'm so lucky. She very abused me, but she take care of the kids for me.
Sure.
Isn't that amazing? Like, can you imagine?
No, what happens is Italians are a little bit like this, like. Yeah, Italians, maybe like Filipino, basically immigrant parents. Probably it's like an immigrant parent thing, but I find Asians is the most where it's very much because it's like practical, but it's like you live with your parents until they live with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then you're 45. You're like, oh, do you live with your parents? You're like, no, we just switch sides of the house.
Yes,
and then
that's so funny.
no, I'm taking care of my parents, and it's sort of switched. But yeah, so that's the one thing that I'm like, I know a lot of Asians that like live with their parents. Where I was like. I had a buddy of mine, Monty Scott, said that white people raise their kids like wolves.
Yeah.
Where I was like, dude, if I told my parents, I'd be like, right now, I'd be like, hey, I want to move back home. They'd be like, yeah, you can Airbnb the basement if you want. Like the idea of like moving back home would be like, yeah, no, you're not. Like that's out of the question. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's like I think that's like a standard of loser, right? Like, you failed in life.
Yeah, so but
we should have had a plan B.
For Asians, it was like he was a good son.
Oh my God, exactly. What an honorable son.
It's like honorable versus like this loser.
Disgraceful.
So it's So it's very
so
that's probably my biggest thing that I've noticed about my Toronto Asian friends anyway.
Yes. So like
but New York, I feel like New York kind of has more Asians than Toronto.
Yeah, in New York.
Toronto's all Indian people. New York, I was actually like surprised that I found New York specifically high quantity of Asians.
Yeah, when I like
running shit.
Yeah, my fans in New York come to my show. I'm seeing like a 50% Asian.
Running shit in New York.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah,
Crazy Rich Asians are crushing it over here.
I know, they be crushing.
It's all the Indian finance bros running shit in Toronto.
Yeah, that's cool. So how's your mom? What kind of like?
She's cool. She lives like 2 hours outside of Toronto, so like seeing them is like a hassle and a half. So I go back every time I go back to see people. It's like a fucking nightmare of a trip. I gotta go. I drive an hour to see my dad. Then I have to drive an hour and a half over that way, and I have to like rent a car. Like it's just like a nightmare every time going back now.
Oh my God.
They moved out to the sticks. That's white for the 2 hours outside of the city.
So like a white
moving
place.
out to the sticks there, right?
Like Stanford.
The what?
Like Stanford, Connecticut. Like
I actually don't know where Stanford. Connecticut's right there, but I don't know where Stanford is.
Stanford is in Connecticut.
No, that's not the sticks. I don't think. Sticks is like smaller town.
Like a white plane.
That seems like a shitty town. Like or like a. I don't think. My guess would be that's more of like small, tiny city. Sticks is like one high school. You know what I mean?
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah, like towns with 20,000 people in them.